Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, ThatBarbDre, where I do reviews and opinion pieces about world events and pop culture. So, let's get into this video. We have Beyonce compared to Nicki Minaj, right? And I was just having this conversation with my mom not too long ago, and it was basically about a reel I made with a Super Freaky Girl song, but I didn't get to show her because my phone died. But then we started just talking about Nicki. She brought up the fact that during her last album era, when Sheether came out and all that other stuff with Cardi B and, you know, the little ops here and there, she was basically saying that Nicki brought herself down off the throne for responding to these girls in comparison to someone like Beyonce, who never really says anything and allows her fans to do the talking, right? Right. But I was like, okay, I understand your thought process, but when you compare the two, you have to consider a lot of different things. You have to consider how they entered the music industry, how they're lasting in the music industry, and what they have done within the music industry and what people have done onto them. So really, in the beginning of their careers is very different, because Beyonce was literally in the music industry since she was about like 8 years old, or younger than that maybe. And she had always had help from her family. I don't recall it being anybody's business besides Nicki Minaj to make her a global superstar. So that's just simply number one, right? So they got famous or well known or got their feet wet in the music industry at very different ages. So by the time Nicki entered the music industry, for real, Beyonce was already very seasoned in a lot of different ways of being in the music industry. Like, she was in a girl group and then she was solo. So she just has a lot of different experience and a lot of years of experience dealing with different people, doing tours and stuff like that with a group versus by herself, and profits and investments and all these other things. And also relationships built and bore by her family and herself. So I don't really see much of a comparison to Beyonce and Nicki Minaj as people and as their artistry as well, because they just do very different things and they have been treated like very different people, right? But they are both black women and they are both lighter skinned women, right? And we know the effects of colorism and all of that, and they do both benefit from that. But I would say that it definitely, when you're on top, when you're the only one on top, regardless of your color, I feel as though you have a target on your back. And there will always be those that want to replace you because they want the piece of the pie that you have. And there is a plethora of opportunities to take it. So you have to be really on your shit. Rihanna is dethroned. Like, she hasn't been putting out no music, focusing on her beauty brand, and, you know, her fashion brand went topside, and she got a little chunkier, and she's just not that fashionable. It's just, once you get older and go through this shit, it kind of mellows out. Like, you turn more into a regular person, because when you are younger, I feel as though it's easier to be a new flavor, basically. And when the flavor has set in for a while, you want to try something new. But it's not to say that, you know, their fans is going away or anything. It's just that that's just what happens with literally anything and everything. So in terms of a comparison, I would say that the funding, right? And funding has everything to do with the security of you putting out a project. And we already know that there had been a bunch of bullshit going on with Young Money, Cash Money, and all that stuff with Baby and the money situation. But we already know Nicki already had her money because she owned her publishing, her distributions, all her others. Like, she owned it all. So she wasn't making 2 pennies on the dollar. like the other girls. And that's why they're really mad, because she was able to secure herself a position that was very profitable for herself. And they don't want to create another one of her. They want to create a rapper that is just as big as her, but they want every last dime that Nicki has been able to generate for herself. This is why all the other rap girls are in 360 like deals. Like if you look into Megan's deal, or if you look at Cardi B's deal, it's just not really giving. And it's because these girls ain't really giving without the label's coin. But that's where you have Nicki that's fucking different, right? She didn't need the label's coin. She didn't need her mama to make her some motherfucking clothes. She didn't need no her daddy to set up a motherfucking performance for her. She didn't need none of that. What she did was go out on the streets and send out her mixtapes. She, you know, all on social media, MySpace, getting it in with the fans. This is why the Barbs love her so much. And it's not to say that Beyonce hadn't done all of that, but she had so many years to do all of that and garner all of that, right? That fan love and the protection from certain things, because a lot of people were already, she had already piqued a lot of people's interest, right? So it's like you were already here, basically, and now you're just bigger. And it didn't really seem like, for Beyonce, a lot of people really wanted to go against her. But similar to Nicki, she owned a lot of her shit. Why? Because her family was the company that she would literally most of the time go through, like Parkwood Entertainment, and her own stuff, like with her husband, her man, Rock Nation, and Jay-Z, basically. So it's just like very, very like I have my own thing, my own studio, my own publishing, my own distribution, my own everything. So I don't need to pay all these other people to do this and do that or whatever out the ass, so that they can go and pay other people to do this and do that, basically. When you're paying management and when you're paying labels and stuff like that. She basically paying herself because she is the label. But it took Nicki to get very far into her career until she was able to create her own label that nobody else in the rap industry helped her with, right? Drake created his own label, but, you know, Nicki wasn't a part of none of that. He had his own business dealings in terms of clothing and all these other things. But Nicki wasn't a part of none of that, nor was Wayne. So her being a part of Young Money only meant as much as she put in. And that's a fact. Because they didn't add more of a look than she added to herself. She ate them up on each fucking track. And when the videos came out, the Barbs came out because they wanted to see her, not everybody else. And we already know that. This is why Kanye today don't want to release nobody, but he will release hot shit with Cardi B. Interesting. When that song is trash as fuck, his verse was trash as fuck. Partisan wrote a trash ass verse for Cardi, and her shit was better than his. I done heard about like 30 seconds of each fucking verse, but that's it. You know, I don't want none of that voodoo to attach to me, my spirit, my soul. I don't listen to that bullshit. But truth be told, these girls ain't giving it up like Nicki. They're not giving it up like Nicki, nor have they had people stand in their way like Nicki, right? Because really the person that's in their way is Nicki. You comparing Beyonce to Nicki Minaj when these two people have been appreciated and disrespected, in contrast to the publications that appreciate Beyonce and post good things about her. Those same publications only post negative things about Nicki Minaj, right? J-Lo can come out with a song called Booty, but and be praised by all the white publications. Yet Nicki comes out with Anaconda. Oh, she's a whore. Okay. Oh. So we know that in comparison, they both go through media scrutiny. And this is why Beyonce doesn't do interviews like that, because they always want to talk about, pick something out, talk about it. So she just don't do it. And then she'll just do it on her terms. So, very much so on her terms. And her exclusivity and the fans, right? It's all about the fans. The fans making her matter, because if she wasn't selling, the executives and the people that really control shit would not give a fuck. They wouldn't give a fuck. Just like NBA YoungBoy, his message is just not a mainstream message, yet he sells millions and has a lot of in millions of streams and stuff. He's not getting endorsed by all these publications and all this stuff like that. Why? You know, he doesn't fit the image. So let's talk about that in terms of the comparison between Beyonce and Nicki Minaj, right? Beyonce has Grammys. I haven't heard of her being blackballed, even though she doesn't show up for a lot of the award shows that still give her awards. But we have heard from people like Nicki, Ariana Grande, The Weeknd, Eminem, that these award shows, they want you to kiss their ass and lick their boobs. They literally want you to go to all these places and do all these things just so you can win the award. So let's talk about it. Remember when Nicki was doing Grammy promo with LL Cool J? What happened with that? We already knew, of course, she's not hosting, LL is, but she's doing promo for it, so she's either going to perform or win an award. It's been revealed that she was actually going to win the New Artist Award or something like that, but some white guy won it from a last-minute decision backstage. Fendi facts. They going to her talking about, oh, we don't want you to perform your set. I'm like, the set didn't arrive. They didn't fucking listen to and approve the whole motherfucking song yet. They gonna wait till the bitch get dressed and ready, set, done, to perform. And then one of the executives gonna come to the room talking about, oh, you can't perform. I don't want you to perform because da-da-da-da-da, the Catholic Church. Da-da-da-da-da, Catholic Church. Excuse me? Let me move my bang so I can hear that shit again. So, in terms of the Grammys, right, and caring so much about what the church got to say, when literally she only released basically a visual representation of the music, very much so satire, because it was obviously a parody of The Exorcist. But I'm like, that goes against the Catholic Church. What about all the movies that they put out? What? They're literally in theaters everywhere, every fall season. So I just don't understand it. Where did that come from? So as we sit here and compare, let me see, because Beyonce then came out with a song called Church Girl. If this new album wins a single fucking Grammy, you see the hypocrisy. You see the clear difference. Oh, it's not about the shit that they say it's about. It's about that it's Nicki Minaj and they have to put that black bitch down. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and have an amazing day.
My one thing was I went into the Disney Channel building and I sat down with the president of Disney Channel and I said, I want to make history. And that's what this is.